Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX using Bill Williams? Now, a couple of things I just want to highlight on the 4 hour here, and it is really messy at the moment. So this level, we can just fine tune it. This level over here is clearly a difficult level to get through. Okay, now, one thing that is concerning me is that we had a break here. Okay, so this wedge that we've been talking about for some time, we had a break, we had a retest of the break, and then we've just gone sideways. Okay, so we didn't sell off. Now, excuse me, if we look at the half hour, and I put a level in here, there's a couple of things I want to point out. So the 200 moving average on the half hour is holding up price on the downside, whereas the 200 moving average on the 1 hour is holding up price on the upside. So you can see the significance of your 200 moving average on pretty much every time frame. So if we look at the 12 minute, you can see how price is still hovering with this 200 moving average at the moment. Okay, and whereas the 30 minute, we are also still using it as support. So there's, pretty much we're in a range. I mean, this is what it's basically telling you. The fact that you're using 200 as support and you're using the different levels, support and resistance, and you're running sideways. We are in a range. Okay, alligator is also twisted and sleeping, although we have opened up towards the close yesterday. So the jury's out as to what's going to happen. Now, a rule of thumb for me is, I just want to use the hour for this. When we are in a channel, and this for all intents and purposes is a channel, okay? It is sort of a wedge, but it can be defined as a channel. The principle's the same. So it's either a flag, and a breakout of that gives us a target to the downside. But what often happens in price is you have a trend, or you have a channel to the upside, and then it goes from a channel to a range, which is pretty much what's happened here. Now, the longer you stay in the range, the less likely that you're going to have a confirmed direction. Okay, so in other words, we've broken out the flag, retested the break, and then gone sideways. So the longer we go sideways, the less likely we have some confidence that we're moving to the downside. So now what it starts becoming is a 50-50. So normally for me, rule of thumb is anything over 18 bars, okay, from the retest here, gives me a 50-50 chance of a break up or a breakdown. And we are sitting on 25 bars at the moment that we've gone sideways in this range. Okay, so what I normally do is I now get rid of that, because there is a 50-50 chance that that's going to play out. And I now focus on the range itself. Okay, if we break the range, then we pick up the targets for the range break. Right, so what we want to do is just highlight to the downside and also to the upside. Okay, now if we move to this side, you'll see a break up will come and test this tail here, and there is also a breakout test here that would be applicable. Then a break to the downside is going to test this tail and this breakout. Okay, so you can see we've got a target to the upside, target to the downside, which pretty much lines up with this breakout. So we now need to watch to see what's going to happen with the breakout. So in saying that, what am I doing today? Paying very close attention to this level here at 123.50. If that does go, then we will be looking for 12286 and possibly even more. Okay, so what we need to do is just get down to the 4 hour, and you'll see how that lines up with this breakout here as well. So that would definitely, this area here of 12286 to 12250 that is definitely an area that I'd be looking for profit taking. Okay, now I just want to do one last thing here. Okay, and that would line up with the 61.8. Okay, so first target would line up with a 50% Fibonacci, second target would line up with the 61.8. So that is a fairly good area to take profit. Okay, so that would give me a 58 point and 100 point trade. Okay, so on the DAX, that's a fairly good trade. I just want to highlight on the daily, have a look at how the daily finished. A lot of indecision. All these tails, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this level. You know, it could just pull back and then accelerate the upside. Now, the fact that we've rolled over here, that we've started to go green on the awesome oscillator, and we've had a crossover to the upside, is also giving a weak indication that there could be a move to the upside. But when I look at price, you've got an inside bar, you've got sort of the sellers were in control of this bar, the sellers were in control of this bar, and this was sort of a 50-50, buyers and sellers equal in control of this. So, you know, the sellers have the upper hand at the moment, and I think that's the way we need to trade it. Okay, so for me, I'm looking, we'll wait for the open, so wait for the first sort of hour to see what's going to go on, and trade the break of that first hour bar. So if it breaks the upside, it's long, and then obviously your target's going to be top of range. If it breaks the downside, there's a good chance we're going to break through the range, and then you've got targets to the downside. Okay, so your two levels to watch today on the range are 1, 2, 3, 50, and also 1, 2, 4, 10. Okay, those are the two areas that you're looking for a break of. A break of those areas gives you target to the upside would be 12472. Target to the downside would be 12286. Okay, so that's kind of the way I see this at the moment, and we are consolidating. So the question is whether we are going to consolidate the upside. So in other words, we trended up, we've ranged, and now we break the upside. And also, just bear in mind that often, and more often than not, you look at a pattern like this and you see, you think, wow, this is not going anywhere. You know, there's a high, there's a lower high, there's a lower high. So that could also be seen as a head and shoulders at the top. But often when you see patterns like this and you're expecting a move to the downside, the reverse happens. Okay, so it's often when things are glaring at you, often things goes the opposite direction. So now that's just another reason why I say ignore everything when you're in a range. Ignore the Bill Williams. Ignore your moving averages. Ignore your oscillators and everything else. Focus on price. And if price breaks these two levels convincingly, so in other words, on the 12-minute, I want a 12-minute close below. If I'm watching the 30, I want a 30-minute close above or below. Okay, and that will give you the indication of the trend change. And then you can worry about watching your oscillators, because then you're in a trend, and they will tell you when the trend is coming, was starting to come to an end. Okay, so that's my take on this today. Hopefully we don't get more of this sideways motion. It's kind of getting depressing at the moment. Really want to get some direction, whether it's down or up, but we just need some kind of direction that you can swing trade. But at the moment, the DAX is pretty impossible to swing trade. You kind of, well, you're swing trading on the 5-minute or 6-minute. Okay, anyway, guys, stay safe and watch these levels and enjoy your day. I'll catch up with you later. Cheers.